is Narva, and we're at the Estonian border before we go through into Russia. Not allowed to take photos of any of the other borders, but this one apparently certainly not in Russia.
Yeah, 1918, and then it
Russia.
was Moscow. A driver who recently got his or her own women and so on. There's a lot of things.
This is about 2 hours out of St Petersburg, not too far from the border.
And if you thought public toilet at the border was, mamma mia, then you're really for a surprise. Because then most of the public toilets in St. Petersburg would be, oh my, is next to the water. Yeah, ob means. Yes, the arch is coming up straight ahead of us. Yes, as I said, cast iron, not concrete, and special about it is, built in 1830s, so during the Russian victory, during Russo-Turkish War that lasted in the period of 1828-1829. Post office is marked like here to our right hand side. Maybe not necessarily. It's beautiful light. Opa. Inside.
National Library.
Within brackets, yeah. That's Metro, St. Petersburg Metro. Now this is House of Soviets. And the statue of Lenin in front of it, not moved. Actually, the same person responsible for this statue is the same person who is responsible for what we are about to see. And that is Poverty Square, or Victory Square. Better say, where it says 1941, 1945. 840 rooms. If you ever got a chance to stay here, that's when the siege began, from 8th of September 1941 until, I think it was 27th of January 1944, with very little food.
Sorry? No, it's okay. Got it, thanks.
Yes, a very, very symbolic place coming from this south. And this is where then Moscow's prospect starts. Very commonly known, actually, it was established by a Russian businessman in 1999, and it reached quite a lot of success in many places around, also in Ukraine and so on. So, yes. Coffee house, which leads to our right hand side. KFC to the left.
Victory Park.
Also, they have KFC, they have Kentucky Fried Chicken, they have Burger King, they have McDonald's, they have Subway, they have absolutely anything you can imagine. Apteka, pharmacy, as the white. So again, the Victory Park to the right. And if you look to the left, on the corner of the building, where there is a white cooler truck, small one.
starts from the Admiralty shipyard. The name of the street is Nevsky Prospect. The length of the street is 4.5 kilometers. The statues were cast in the middle of the 19th century. Now we are turning to the left and we are going down shop in the capital. We call it the Yeliseyev food shop. Right, again a little bit in the depth, St. Catherine. So, with the tower is the building constructed at the start of the 20th century for the company of the sewing machines, Singer Company, nowadays occupied by the biggest bookshop of the city. An icon was kept here. So the 19th century. Now we are crossing the next bridge over Nevsky Arch, which overlooks Palace Square. Because the St. Isaac's Cathedral is situated here, please look on your right and you will see this cathedral. It was constructed in the first half of the 19th century. The construction was lasting.
Just crazy. There's just bus after bus after bus. They're all just jammed in like sardines. So the souvenir shop here is just a little van with the back door.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Go and walk in front of us.
At the end of the 18th century for the horse riders, there are former barracks of one of the Guards regiment here from Moscow several years ago. After the revolution it was occupied by trade unions. Nowadays trade unions don't play, in fact, any important role in the social life of our country, and the palace is mainly occupied to see a beautiful staircase which leads to the
The show we're going
first
to is
floor,
in this building.
and mainly seamen. It was in the 18th century. So the cathedral was constructed for them in the middle of the 18th century.
St. Nicholas Cathedral. It's for the seamen.
You ready for one?
The back of the church. Inside the church was quite beautiful.
Often on your right, and you will see the St. Nicholas Naval Cathedral and its beautiful bell tower, and another church on your left, which is being restored now. By the way, two canals crisscross each other, and from this very end, the cathedral and the bell tower, which is probably even more beautiful than the cathedral itself. Naval Street. The street, in fact, leads up to Nevsky. To your already. To the great, the founder of our city. On the pedestal there is this very short dedication. Pietro Prima, Catarina Secunda, Peter the First, Catherine the Second. We call it the bronze horseman of the Navy in our city, a big day of the Navy, a big holiday in fact. And So that's why the Niva River, so and you can see them. By the way, now we are going down English embankment, which got this name because the British community was quite big in the city in the 18th century, and the Anglican Church was incorporated into one of the palaces, which is so calm today. It can look different. Are holding a trident of Neptune, so such sea motifs. The river is navigable. This
Two of these, I think these are replicas, but they were lighthouses. There's one here. There's another one a little bit further down.
it was a small island.
Peter Paul
You can see the
fortress.
walls of the fortress, its bastions and curtains covered with granite from the side of the Niva River. So now we are going to pass this sailing ship and to the city in 2003 when the city celebrated 300th anniversary.
Dutch
So
government.
inside there is a restaurant and a fitness city.
The oldest wooden bridge in the city.
In front of you there
across
is
the Peter Paul
this square
fortress.
which is called the Holy Trinity Square. It was constructed in the reign of Peter the Great. It was a plain wooden church with a steeple according to the fashion of the beginning of the 18th century. When the city was preparing for 300th anniversary, this small chapel was constructed on the spot. It was constructed in 1903. So if you look on your right, you will see the square of the former port of the city, the spit of Vasilevsky Island. The territory was artificially extended for 120 meters. And only from here, from the central part of the bridge, you can appreciate the symmetry and the balance of the whole ensemble of the former port, with a row of white columns in the center. Two buildings of warehouses, former warehouses, which flank the whole composition. Two is the building of terracotta culture, the first, the only legit Catherine the Great and her husband, Peter, started on the spot of assassination of Alexander II. Introduced a lot of reforms of liberal character. It happened in 1860.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, the same thing. Sun straight in the face from that side. That's really close to the square. A bowl of fries, some water, and basically full roll. Just under 600 rubles.
we're gonna then enter into the palace, and I'll tell you a little bit later what will happen in the palace. First, just generally speaking about the rest of the day. Dinner is not included.
The theatre for the concert. So this is the theatre we're going to see the performers. There's the chandelier. This is the intermission. Peter Paul Fortress. The Mint, still a working factory.
When I shot her down, probably crooked and I asked those Indian people if they knew you, and they said they didn't.
I'll ask the ladies first. I'll ask the ladies.
Inside the cathedral, which holds the signs.
I'd like to remind you that they start.
A little one.
There's Peter the Great's in here somewhere too. Romanovs.
And I wanted to go.
It's one of their anthems the bells are playing.
That is, I do like that. What do you call it?
Petersburg Fortress on the outside.
A couple of words about it. It
Wooden
was
bridge that
constructed
takes you
for
into
the Muslim community of St
Petersburg
Petersburg
Fortress.
at the
Few cannons on each side, facing each direction of the avenue. Would be it, and then it comes
Heading north now
let's say,
towards
really
Helsinki.
different city appearance, very different.
Heading north.
So here the view opens. We're gonna drive further direction. Well, we're gonna have our journey further to the left later on. Yeah, there it is, the academy straight ahead of us to the right. That green, not the bridge but driveway, and then a few cannons on the top of the bridge facing us, and there are also two facing us on the other side, facing other side.
Most people live at the outskirts of the city.
My mind, I don't know. I know they're expensive, and yeah, I don't even go there. And that even if they take a photo of you, a bit the weather more moody, windy, and so on. We are still. So yes, at that guest service desk, they have maps of. They can be found on deck number. All the way inland, it is more than 800 kilometers long. It creates an access from inner part of Finland, central part of Finland, through the lakes and waterways down into the Baltic Sea, which is way better to our left-hand side. And this also gives you another beautiful impression of how forested the area is. And Siberia is way behind 7 mountains and 7 valleys further to the right. Little booklet which says how to arrange your own wake-up call.
It's been just nothing but forest all the way up from St Petersburg up to Helsinki so far. It's just a lot of forest and little rivers here and there. This is the first piece of open grass we've had on the way up. Forest, just wall-to-wall forest all the way up. There's one sparsely forest that you could see through, and there was a whole lot of with a cemetery all woven in the between the trees.